So it's 4:14 on the 17th. Stella's over here snoring. That I woke up at 1, 2, 3, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go back to sleep, but I haven't. But today I don't have anything that I'm doing, so I'm gonna. I always have a nap available, and you know these I get these copper rings, right? Um, I think that they are making. I think it's from holding the phone and that kind of thing. But I think that they're helping the my fingers. But it's like every single thing in my body is hurting. Every fucking thing. I even tried to put on those bracelets as anklets, which I was trying to do, but it is it started hurting really bad. And it started making my ankles itch really bad. I don't know what the hell. Because they have these magnets, which I'm not sure what the whole thing is with the magnets, the copper and the magnets together. It was like pulls toxins. And then I'm like, is it pulling stuff out of my body and making it hurt, making it itchy? I know. I swear to God, I'm so spun out on this shit at this point. I'm just like, yesterday I had the worst fucking day. It was just like everything was so intense. I just stayed down here by myself, and it was just like everything feels so heavy. Going out and walking the dogs, it just seems like they're 10 times crazier. So it's like everything is so intense. I can't even believe it. But but so I'm sending those bracelets back. But then I was like, well, maybe it's because the weight of them, because they're really heavy. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just get some copper anklets and see if that doesn't help. Like, I don't know, with joint pain and stuff. So I don't know, fucking know. Because I know that it's not in my head, even though everything is in your fucking head. That's what drives me fucking even crazier. It's like, what the fuck, man? This is so fucking intense. Because I still can't get my rings on, my regular rings. My fingers are like, I don't know, they're like little fucking sausages, man. It's like, what has got them so swollen and chunky looking? I don't know. I swear to God. That, I feel like I take so much detox stuff where it's so much minerals and stuff. Then it's like, yeah, am I doing too much? Am I overburdening my body? I don't. I swear to God, I just have no idea. It's like you have to go and figure your own body out yourself all the fucking time, and it's not easy. Like, I have a total empathy for anybody who's trying, because it's hard as shit. And my tooth, this really was getting me too. My tooth is killing me. And so yesterday I was looking at it. I was like, oh my God, it looks like the hole is just black. Is it getting deeper and bigger? Is my tooth just rotting instead of healing? And is it fucking aching so much again? Like, but everything in my body's aching. Every little, like every nerve ending on me is sensitive. Like everything is so intense. In the and then I go on trying to find something about the Schumann or something about something. And it's just like, I swear to God, just bullshit, 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 bullshit. And, but like, so I was looking, fuck, it is so sore. When I was looking, I was like, okay, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the old videos when it first broke. What was that? Like, God dang, it's going to be a year soon. Because I think it was the end of November or something. And I have a fucking headache. Like, I swear to God, the energy is so intense. It's so heavy. And you have a whole bunch of people now. I do see a bunch of people talking about we're in this bifurcation of energy splitting in two different directions and stuff, which I still say the split is ahead, because not everybody's even woke up yet. And I consider seeing the truth as being awake. And you have so many people who aren't seeing the truth. And I don't think it's just because they're refusing to see it. It's because they just don't see it yet. And I believe that the seeing is the awakening is due to the timing of how things play out and what it is they need to work on in their soul's journey. So I still say there's a huge group of people that are going, something is going to happen. It seems like it's going to be something with politics or something, but it could be something in space, could be something with the water. We got water shit all the fucking time happening. The, but it could be something with politics. It's going to make, because they are so blind to it. But you do have that people who are so blind to religion, everything. All these people are just so blind to the control in this world, and then they think that they've broke through to the other side when they just stay completely three-dimensional in their perspective of life and how to exist. And so it's not really even connecting into spirituality. It's just, and which would be the other level, leveling out of this. And they just stay just rotating back through the game, back through the game, back through the game. And I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm tired of, I'm just so tired. The, but the, let's see. So the two thing that last night I was like trying to really use visualization, trying to not get down, trying to not feed into the other thing. I was like, well, even if I go and get it pulled, then, which is like how I'm feeling again, like just fucking yank that bitch out, is, that could still cause an infection. That could still cause problems with the thing, the root or whatever. And so it still seems smarter to just keep working on trying to heal it. Now I'm stopping with the SP, whatever it is, toothpaste, the probiotic one, because I'm like, is that irritating it more? Like, that's the thing too, is you buy this stuff that they market is like super healing and all that stuff, just like some of these hydroxyapatite toothpaste, but they're nano, and then they say nano so bad, right? It's like, I swear to God, you're just spitting out on this shit. It's like, what the fuck, man? And all this shit is expensive as fuck. Everything is so expensive to try and be healthy. It's such a fucking scam. It's probably these fucking same labs that are selling this and selling that, and it's just all comes from the same fucking place. And so, but I was trying to use my visualization, and I was like, I kept telling myself, "You're a fucking hologram. Like, none of this is real. None of this pain is real. Nothing." But I know, like, pain is also to, well, it's one thing is to ground you into reality, but it's also to direct you in something that you need to work on or heal. And so you have to also be open to it because it's your body communicating with you. So you have to listen to your body. You can't just ignore it and just go about your business. But there's also, this pulling free from this concept of this idea of the flesh and blood, and that you are this, this, uh, something, a material that is made out of matter, and that you are whole or something, like you are, because nothing is real. It's all an illusion. Everything is an illusion. And lately, going outside, like the colors and stuff, everything looks so weird to me. Everything just looks so weird. It's like the same thing as whenever I first started seeing everything being weird, and everything looked really three-dimensional and stuff. Now all the colors, everything looks weird. It just looks weird. It just gets weirder and weirder. And the sky's doing weird shit. People are doing weird shit. Your body's doing weird shit. It's just like, oh my God, how long can this go on? It's like, fuck, man. It's really giving me a lot of empathy to the people who are going to check out on their own, by their own selves, on their own being, them doing themselves in. I really am having a lot of empathy for those people right now, because I get it, man. It's like, it's going to be, just as this is so hard, it's going to be so hard on them. Like, this being hard isn't going to just suddenly stop. It's going to keep being hard. And then there is going to be this bifurcation or whatever, this splitting of the energies. And it is going to be where you're aligned to in your vibration. And it's not going to just be two, but it's going to be it's, it's kind of like, it's kind of like you take something and then you, okay, let's say you take a water balloon and then you slam it down on the ground and it splatters like that, so it goes out. So it goes in two different directions, but it's going to splinter out. And so the energy is going to go and then it's going to splinter out. And so it's going to have a pole direction. So it's going to go towards negative or towards positive, but it's also going to go in a bunch of different ways. So there's going to be a lot of different realities. It's all going to kind of depend on what you vibrate at, where you end up going to. And it's really, it's part of your storyline. It's not something that you need to worry about or try and control or what is that? It's going with the flow. It's just getting into the flow because you're gonna go where you're gonna go, and it's out of your control. And so that's the geese. So you're gonna go. That would be really cool if that horrific sound came while you guys were, so everybody could hear it and be like, then put opinions on what the hell is that. I wish it would make that. It was such a weird noise. I still can't get it out of my head. And I still can't figure out, like, I mean, I can't even hear it right. It was just so eerie. So, anyways, so it's going to go in these different directions, but you're going to go where your vibration is pulling you. And it's already like set in stone. You're going to where you're going. And that's why you got to go with the flow. And you got to listen to yourself and do what yourself is telling you to do. And so, and that's where, to me, I got to back off of trying to, give anybody direction. I mean, they've got this big storm coming now, this category 5. What is it? It's called Aaron, but I don't know if they're calling it a tropical storm or hurricane, whatever it is. It's called Aaron, and it's changing directions, moving or whatever, building, whatever. It's doing all this stuff. And I still don't know. I think it's like down by the Caribbean or something right now. And then it's supposed to go up like by Puerto Rico or something. Maybe Costa Rica. I don't remember which. But then I guess we'll see if it's going to come across to our coastline or whatever. But, my daughter's supposed to be going on the cruise and going down there to me, or all these hurricanes or whatever is going to, these big storms. I would be horrified to be on a boat in a big storm. I was telling my one daughter, because I'm not telling the one daughter who's going, because then I feel like I'm harassing her, scaring her, or whatever. But I was telling the other two daughters I was talking to, and I said, but it worries me. And but when one daughter's like, well, if it's a hurricane, they'll just take them out on the boat and take them off the shore. It's like, that sounds even more scary to me. You're going to be taken out in a boat in the open sea during a storm. What if it flips it? What you got these ginormous waves and stuff. You have still this weird thing coming, the 80-foot waves. You got all these weird anomalies. This yesterday I put on. I don't know if I put it on. I don't remember. This movie came on. And at the very far, start, I can't talk. The start of it, it was words, and it was saying there's I don't know, some about an underground ocean area or ocean depth that we're not being told about, that things go missing, and it's I don't know. They put this kind of stuff in movies all the time. And it's just called Deep Within or something like that. And the thing is there's this whole hidden world down below us, but it's realms and it's realms. And so this whole world is hid down there. And in the movie, they make it kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes they take these things and they make them kind of hokey. So we just think, oh, that's silly. That's a movie. But there is truth. There really is places that, portals and places you can go and disappear and stuff. And, but this one, these creature things, which, could be aliens and stuff, but these were, monsters like alien or something, really horrible, long tentacle things that open their mouth real big and then eat you and stuff. Were intelligent and could chase you. And that was getting a cruise ship. And then this other ship that was coming out there to rob the cruise ship or something. And but there is other worlds below us. There's worlds that are in the unseen, things that we don't see, and they keep them hidden the best they can. So there's worlds underneath the cities. There's worlds underneath the water. There's waterways from one water thing to another waterway. And the video that was talking about those lakes and the other day where these tribes would use this lake for this or whatever. And the one, they would throw their babies that were disabled into the lake, just discard them. And so then that lake started having somebody drowns in it every year because they're always talking about haunted lakes and stuff, because there's energy and stuff that is stored from these different things that occur. And so the so somebody will go in and drown in this lake, but then they'll find them like in Lake Tahoe. And it said also people will drown at Lake Tahoe and then they'll find them in this lake, which there would be no way to get there unless it was a waterway underneath the land, which I think that there's a whole, kind of like in our bodies. So in the micro, macro, in our bodies, there's all of these pathways. And so I think it's the same thing under the land, is all these pathways. So water's connecting, like the blood of the planet or something. So it has all these connections, but they keep it more hidden from us because, that would make us question reality on a deeper level, and they don't want us to do that. They want us to just sit here as scared little ants, scared little slaves, and depend on them for all our information. And so they don't want you to open up your mind and ask the questions and try and understand what is this place? What are we doing here? They want you just to listen to them and believe what they tell you. But it's all falling apart. The lies are just being exposed after exposed after exposed. And when I had said before about those guys I saw, I was talking about this like, I don't know, a year ago or something. I don't remember when it was. But those guys, so there was somebody down at the border and they were questioning people as they were coming. And those guys that were, she said, where are you guys coming from? I think they said like India or something. And she said, well, how far have you walked? Where'd you fly in from? And they are like, we've walked. And they're like, and she's like, well, where'd you walk? What airport? And they're like, we didn't go to an airport, we walked. And then more guys keep coming. So it was a whole bunch of guys going together. And then there was some from Pakistan, some from India, some from all over the place. And she kept asking them, well, how'd you get here? And they all kept saying, we walked. And they said they'd been walking for a couple days, I think. And but they were all clean. They weren't a mess or anything. They didn't look like they'd been through like a hard time or anything. And but I mean, they could have been tired or whatever, like, and carrying a bag for. But anyways, so there's a bunch of people who saw that video had the same feeling as me. As like, yeah, there's ways to get through this place that they're not telling us. There's ways that they want to control our movement, so they don't tell us the truth. So I saw this one girl yesterday, and she was talking about these true maps and stuff, and she was showing that everything is way closer than what they show us. So they show us on the map that everything's real far, but if you go up and I guess get an aerial view, like America's almost touching Russia, Australia's almost touching Europe, like all these places, like South America's almost touching North America. Like every place is super, super close, where it looks like, oh, it'll still swim over there. And it doesn't look far at all. And so and there's I think she talked about it, but I've seen other videos too. But this thing about the Grand Canyon, which I said, I'm sure there is portals and stuff. I'm sure there is caves. You go into a cave over in Afghanistan, and you come out in the Grand Canyon, and so there's this whole system, these systems, and I don't think that they know them all, but any of them that they can find, they hide them. And I think that some of these cities underneath the cities are old worlds. They're worlds where people used to live. And there probably was worlds where they were, see, because they've been more advanced than us before. Because, like, when you look at some of their artwork and some of their architecture and stuff, it's like, we can't do that stuff. We can't do that. And so they were more advanced at different times. But like you think about like a city underneath Los Angeles. And but then they tell us, the settlers came across and then they built up these places and then it built and built more and more and more. But then there's these old ones underneath. So did they already go through this period and then they started over and then they did it as like a repeat thing, only the land is up? Like, I don't know, it's weird, because some of these cities that are underneath the cities seem like cities that we would have been living in or built or something. So they don't seem like, but there's some, like you go to some of these places, like under, I don't even remember all the different ones I've seen, under Thailand, under China, under different places. And some of those look way different. Like you think like, oh, that's a way different time. Some of these, like the city under Seattle, I think it looks like it's something like from the 50s or 70s or something. So it's like, but they also have those cities underneath the ocean where they're saying that they have these studies they're doing on these bubbles of uh, of reality where they keep the people in the 70s. So you go there, everything's the 70s. Doesn't ever get different. Just stays the 70s. Or one that just stays the 50s. Doesn't ever change, just stays the 50s. And so, and who knows if they even do time the same way as they do time here. I'm sure that they do a lot of things different than what they do here. So if they have a city and it just remains the 50s decade after decade and they just don't count time, they just watch people watch and see what they do. Maybe they give them jobs because, but maybe the people feel more like they need the job in order to keep the town going. So they feel more responsible towards their community. Like now, we have people who, I don't know. I mean, we have such a moral decay in our society. It is so, it's, I just can't even believe it sometimes. It is, and the people, who are more about empathy and compassion and having morals and stuff like that, it is really getting to people. It's like, oh my gosh, how can this just keep going? How can there be these evil people like this? And but they're still, learning how to not be evil, I think. But like there was one that was just I don't know, 6 or 9 teenagers went out and murdering together. Ugh. It was like gangs of just killer kids. People just, I still think, the people whose little baby has disappeared, and which it ends up that parking lot just so happens to be one of the only ones that has no surveillance in it. And people are like, oh, like that's not planned. And they knew exactly what parking lot to go to. But all these people, everybody online is just like, no way, these people did it. And the record on the dad's coming out, and he's an abuser, and he abuses kids and stuff. He's been in jail for it or something. And the but the thing is when and now the parents are just doing interview after interview, but they talk about the kid in the past tense, and they're not out just looking, they're just out there defending themselves. And what was the other thing too? The the talking in the past tense, defending themselves, dad has a record, the a lack of emotion, and there's something else. But it does seem like that they are involved somehow. Like that just didn't want to deal with this kid. Because they sit there and say, oh, he was doing so good. He was so normal. He was crawling and stuff like that. And then in the description, the child's cross-eyed, which, I mean, that's not automatically a syndrome. There's something about the kid, like he has a ton of hair. There's something about him. He just looks like he's got some type of syndrome. So I would think he has some kind of uh, some kind of disabilities or some kind of slowness or something that the parents didn't want to deal with, or he was frustrated. And maybe that dad who has temper issues, maybe he hurt him, and then they had to just hide the body, dispose of, and then they had to come up with a storyline, because it still seems like that the police are focused on them. Oh yeah, because now on Facebook, the woman who it's not her kid, it's the husband's kid. Like, I think all these kids are her husband's kids. I don't know, maybe she has some, but they have 5 kids, and this one is only 7 months old. But where's the real mom then? But now the sister of the mom who was with the kid when the kid disappeared, she is saying that the kid really did disappear. You guys need to quit being so mean to them and blaming them and all this stuff, which I have seen in movies before, these Lifetime movies, these true stories of people's kids getting kidnapped, and how everybody just goes in on the parents. And a lot of times it's not the parents. It really is their kid was nabbed, and that the parents get blamed and just get beat down by all the hatefulness. So I don't know. It's one of those things. It's just like you got to just wait and see what happens. Those ones that were, where were those ones? The Canadian ones, I think it was, or maybe they were up by, like maybe they were Minnesota. I don't remember now. But that couple that said they lived by a forest, and then they said their kids disappeared and they couldn't find them. And then there was a lot of weird stuff too that they were saying, and then they kind of turned on each other or something. But they were both found, and somebody had done them in. And so I don't know. There's lots of people out there just they can't. I see so many people online all the time, and they can't deal with their life. They can't deal with their kids. They can't deal with their parents. They can't deal with their siblings. Like, people just can't handle shit right now. And it is intense to go anywhere because everybody's so unstable. Nobody's paying attention. Everybody's unstable. The world's gone crazy. And it's like, well, when is something going to happen that's going to, like the thunder strike that's going to, or the lightning strike, that's something that is going to create something different, like not so much chaos. Like, to me, is whatever the case may be, which could be political. And so there's the whole thing now where Vladimir and Trump met up over in Alaska, which Alaska was just having that big flood. But so they met over there, that's where it's super close. Like the two borders. And what's her name? That one politician lady who she said, wherever it was she lived in Alaska, I think she ran in Alaska or something. She said that she could see Russia from her kitchen window or something, because the stuff is way closer. And then they try and that's what's so weird is when we go on these their airplanes to go fly somewhere. It's like, were they flying us in circles? Are we just going to a thing and we're just sitting there, you know, and we're not really doing anything? Because we could just literally, they could make us a bridge and we could just drive over there, which is still slowing us down. Like, these guys can walk from freaking the Middle East into fucking Mexico to the border over, you know, whatever, a couple days. He may have said it took him 4 days. I don't know. But a matter of days to be able to walk. So, and then you wouldn't be walking the whole time. You'd stop and sleep. So, and it could have just been one day. He could have said, he could have said 4 hours. I don't know. But, all I know is that, you know, there's portals around, that speeds things up. It's like a collapse of an area, kind of. It's kind of like, yeah, I see it kind of like, I don't know, like those accordion kind of things, whatever, those tubes, and they kind of have all those little bends, so they're like a cord. You can pull them out real far, they can go up close. That to me is kind of like a portal. So, and we're in these spaces where it's kind of stretched, but there's holes where it's collapsed, kind of, so you have a quicker place, so you can go from here to there real quick when you find the places that is not stretched out. And it's kind of like they stretched out with our consciousness because it's what we believe. So they tell us this is what it is, and then we see that because that's what we believe it is. And so, oh, my nose itches. But it's not really the way that they tell us. And so there's these areas where it can be closer in the collapsed kind of areas. That would be like a portal. And so there's areas that you can go through and be somewhere else real quick because places are not what they tell us. I know that we're, like I've said, I think we're like layered. We're not spread out like how they say. It's like we're layered. It's like everything is layers. And so, I don't know. Everything is so much different than what they tell us. And once we start to see, we're going to be able to move around much quicker, and we're not going to need to use their planes and trains, and I don't even think they're automobiles. I think everything is going to change. I think that them doing those patents on the whatever it's called, like Star Trek travel, where you go in the little tube and then you just get whatever, your vibration changes, and then you come out in a different tube somewhere. I can't remember what it's called, but they have patents for it now. And, so they're working on it, but they're also working on hover cars and stuff. So, but so whatever's going with Donald and Vladimir, but to me, still Vladimir, China, all the BRs, the BRICSs, the original ones that started the peace treaty and the gold situation, even though it was starting in other places, but it had to, like, more has to play out, more the story has to play out. Like, our people over here in America have to see in order to have it play out. So they couldn't just all of a sudden collapse the dollar and change it over to this other. We have to go through this long, drawn out thing. And but like Russia, they did it real quick. They just changed over, but they didn't have this whole banking system. They had ran them off or something a long time ago. And so that's why he's always calling out some of the things that goes on over here, what we eat, how we make, all this stuff. He's always calling out because they didn't do the same thing. And in China too, this whole thing about the COMMUNISM is must have been the label of the people who went against the banking system. And so they said, no, we'll take care of our own people, because both of those places, they are already switching over. And I saw another video, these people in China, So in this park, it's like 8 o'clock at night in this big giant ass park, and all these people, tons and tons of people, all out there doing an exercise class together. Like it is like it's in their the way that they look at things, to it's just a healthier, like I don't know. They tell us that these people are, you know, they tell us that they're the slaves and stuff, that they're the ones being abused and stuff. But it's the opposite. They're treated better, they're happier, they're healthier. And then you come over here, people are down, they're depressed, they hate everybody. We got kids killing kids, we got kids killing adults, we got utter chaos, we got people just taking kids for their fetishes, their sex toy. Like it's insane. And everybody's being poisoned. Nobody knows how to take care of themselves. Everybody's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Everybody's just, it's just a totally different energy. One guy who was doing videos, because he was living over in China for a while, now he's back over here and he keeps showing like the difference. He's just like, oh my God, it's so much worse when you come back after you've seen how other people are living. Then you come back here. It's just like, oh my God, it's so bad here. And then, they tell us like how great it is. It's the greatest. It's the greatest. It's like, it's not though. Look at the people. Like we got, oh, and another thing too, I saw another conversation going where it was, people are like, well, where's all the homeless people? The homeless people are disappearing again. And so then you have the one side saying all of the negative stuff. But I was thinking, if they're really disappearing again, he already had said that we're going to clean up the homeless. We're going to get them into rehab and stuff. If they want to go to places and be rehabbed and get off drugs and heat, all of that stuff, like healing centers or something, that they are already doing that. And if there really is homeless people disappearing, then I would think like, well, then they really are doing that. They really are going into places and getting the homeless people to, especially, hopefully they really are, especially before winter, because this winter is going to probably even be worse than the last one. And it's going to probably come soon again because, summer starts so soon, and then it will switch. And the weather is just weird. The weather is so fucking weird. And so it probably will come again soon. It'll probably be by the end of September or something, the beginning of October. It'll be like winter. We'll start having snow. It'll be raining and cold all the time. And it just seems like a matter of weeks away. Just like, oh my gosh, I just can't even. And there's a bunch of people who have been, trying to get their best life. And I don't know on everybody. I don't know how many people are going towards it and how many people are just sitting trying to envision it. But there's so many people who are frustrated because they're not getting it, which I completely get too. It's like, man, you put all of this energy and trust towards, the change in the universe and taking you where you're headed, but it just drags and drags and drags. It's like, I swear to God, I really, really, I am with every single bit of my being believed that I was not going to be here very long. I thought a couple months at the most, and things will change. The money, something will happen, and it will change, and I'll be out of here, and I'll have my own home and stuff. But it just drags and drags and drags, and so I just don't even know. And it seems like it's got to be close. It still seems like it's got to be close, but man, it just seemed like that for so long. It seemed like, well, it's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. And then it just drags and drags and drags. So even if it seems close, it still is like, it's like the same thing with time. It can seem like it's this or it can seem like it's this. So it can seem like it's just right there, but it just is so far to get there. It's like, God dang, I've been walking for months. And that's how it feels right now. It's like I totally had the expectation that this was going to go fast. Well, even doing this, I swear to God, when I started, I thought, oh man, things are going to change so fast. It's going to be silly that I'm even doing this. And now it's just years and years where there's times where I feel like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? What am I on here talking about? Like, fuck. I don't fucking know. I don't know. You think like you're coming on to help people, and it's just like, I just don't even know. So, I don't know. It seems like it drags, and it seems like it's easy to feel beat down. It's easy to feel like, fuck, man, especially when you believe so wholeheartedly like something's about to change, and then it doesn't, and then it doesn't, and then it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it doesn't, and it just feels more and more days of nothing changing and everything just remaining the same, and it just seems to just become more horrible to even exist. It just is like it's such a strain, it's such a stress. I just can't even believe. I'm like just working on my tooth and just working on it and trying this and then all of a sudden it just seems like it's just way worse. Just seems like it's just like but when I was looking at it though, I was thinking, okay, I think uh, it may be deeper, which I don't know. Maybe it is going in and concaving into, maybe it didn't heal right or something. Fuck off, I know. And then maybe the probiotic stuff is helping it to heal, and it's got to go backwards. Because maybe the nano stuff was making it grow when it shouldn't have been growing. Like, who fucking knows, man? And is it just what I tell myself it is? I don't fucking know at this point. I've told myself that, that I wasn't going to be here very long, and here I am. And so, but it seems like there's parts of my tooth that have grown. But it seems like that this whole part just seems like, man, it just feels and seems deeper. It seems really sore. So, I don't know. I'm trying to do the peroxide more, but then am I drying it out more? Am I causing more harm than that other Uncle Harry's mouthwash stuff that's all minerals and stuff? Tried some of that, so I did 2 of those this morning to see. I'm just going to try and do that. And then I'm not going to do the P6 stuff because did that make it start going into this deeper hole? But should I be doing it? Because it needs the probiotic. I swear to God. And so, or you can just spin your wheels. It's like, bug, man. And you don't have anybody you can just go and trust. Like, even when I sit there and think, okay, well, just go get it pulled and it'll be over with. But then it's like, anybody you go to, do you trust them? Do you trust these people? Like, you got people that are, a case in Florida where a guy who was traveling, went to the ER or something, and I think he was coming from Alabama, went to Florida or something, and was sick or having pain, went to the ER, and saw a surgeon, whatever it was, he had him see a surgeon or something. The surgeon said, you need your spleen out, it's emergency. He calls his doctor at home. The doctor says, no, don't do a surgery there. Get here, come here, let me check you out. The surgeon convinces them, no, you're in danger, you're going to die, your spleen is bleeding, we have to remove it immediately. They go in, so the guy gets bullied into doing the surgery, which I know that fucking pain. Then he gets bullied into doing the surgery, goes in, he's dead. And so what they find is his spleen wasn't bleeding, and that the doctor cut into a major artery. I don't remember if it was the one for his heart, but cut into a major artery. He bleeds out, and the guy removes the thing he removed was his liver. He didn't even remove his spleen. He didn't even know they're on 2 different sides. He didn't, and the spleen is much smaller than the liver. So he goes in and removes the guy's liver and cuts an artery, and the guy dies. And it's like, so who are you going to be out there trusting with your health? It's like you got to put more trust in yourself, but it is very difficult because everybody's selling you something. There's something for everything, and you don't know. To me, it's like, well, try a little of this, try a little of that, but then It's like, well, am I overdoing it on some of this stuff? Because now, like, I heard, like, you're not only supposed to take a little bit of moringa, you're not supposed to take a lot. And then it's like, well, how much am I drinking of that? Like, there's so many things. It's just so much, man. It's overwhelming. I swear to God. So, and fuck if I know. Because in my tea things, now I've got the beetroot, the dandelion. There's so many things in my tea. But now, and then I was having matcha. And then they're saying, well, matcha can pull from your iron and that can make your hair fall out. So then I'm like, man, am I overdoing the matcha? Maybe I don't need to be taking so much matcha because the things that I pay attention to on my own body, my joints, swelling, pain, my hair falling out, how my tooth is healing. And so there's different like signs that my body's giving me. And then you're trying to figure out like what to use and what not to use. And when you've had too much and when you haven't had enough, it's like, and there's so much. I bought another copper vessel. So I have two of those going all the time because I was like, and I did notice like one day, I don't know, last week, Stella's face was looking really white. And so I started giving her more copper water in her water dish. And then her face went, and it's not, I mean, it could still have a little bit, but it's not very much. And so it changed really quick, which I swear to God, I still say that my hair is changing no matter what. I still think so. Because even if it is like back to where it was a few years ago, there was a period of time in there where it was changing and turning whiter. So I know it was. I know I'm not crazy. And the hair, like when I would pull it back, because even when I was, okay, so that was like when Stella got sick and I took her to the med bed down in Southern California. And so whatever that was, like, so 2021 or something, I would guess. Because 2020, okay, 2020, we were kind of locked up. 2020, so I think it was mid 2021, because I'd already started doing this, and I took the filming onto the road with a road trip, and but I remember specifically my ex-husband, because we stopped at his farm on the way back, and his sister's farm. And I remember him specifically making fun of my crazy hair and saying how my hair is turning crazy like my mom's. Because if I pulled my hair back, it was just like this wild, cottony white hair. And so, and it doesn't do that now. It's not all crazy how it was. Like if I pulled my hair back, it would be just this wild, crazy hair where I looked like this crazy wild lady. And it doesn't do that anymore. So I know that it is changing. So I know the copper thing. And I've started taking more magnesium again. So I started taking this because you can't overdose on magnesium. You know, I have this 12-in-1 that has got all these different magnesiums that I got. And then for a few days, I was like, well, I'll just take this one. I don't need to take the other ones. But then when I started having all these different pains and stuff like that, then I was like, well, I'm going to start taking this again because it's good for headaches and pain and stuff. So now I'm taking these again, like four. I think I took 4 yesterday, 4 the day before. But like I take 2, and then a couple hours later, I take 2 again. And then this one I take when I want to go to bed because magnesium helps you with your sleep. And then also I have my magnesium spray. So you need a lot of magnesium. I think you need a lot of copper. And so I got another copper vessel because I give it to the dogs too. So I put copper water in theirs. And so I have those two going all the time. As soon as one's empty, I just fill it back up. And and then I use it for my tea. I use it in my water cup. So then as soon as one of the things is empty, put it in the dog's dishes and stuff. Then I just fill it back up, fill it back up. So have that, and then increasing the magnesium. The iron, I started that collagen. I still haven't done the beef liver pill things, because I'm just like 6 pills a day of that stuff that you need to take in order for it to be effective. It's like, that is extreme, and I really don't want to be uh, part of, killing the animals. Like, I don't know. I've got the beef tallow stuff, but I don't know. I try it, but I don't know that I'm gonna stay doing it because of the same thing with the animals. Because I feel like it's inhumane of us to kill animals for the things that we want and that we need, and it's very divided in this world. There's plenty of people out there who think, well, the animals are here for us to eat. And, on a spiritual level, they come in for the experience they have. But to me, I'm changing into this other experience where everything lives in respect of everything else. So it's, and that is a part of going through your own kind of healing or acknowledgement through your own growth of like, well, do I need to kill an animal for my own health? Do I need to? So I don't know. I don't know about the beef liver thing, because I don't know if I'm going to take it, especially because the one lady she's vegan though. And so she's anti-meat on every single thing. But she's like, oh, taking liver that's got the most toxins and stuff, and taking that for your iron. But then there's a whole thing about organ meat is where you get all this iron. And that's why I think that people eat a lot of animals and think that that makes them feel better, is because they're getting the iron out of the blood. And so, yeah, but we got to increase the iron in our own blood. And, and everything they do is to deplete us of our minerals and then overburden us with different, you think of bacteria or whatever as being bugs. So they want to overwhelm us with toxins and bugs in order to deplete us and then drain us of all of our minerals, so that we do this process called aging, and then we get sicker and sicker, and we run to them to save us. And so they supply us with this little magic pill all the time. And so everybody's lining up for the magic, and it's they're just, the whole thing is fucking messed up. The whole thing is fucking bullshit. So I don't know. I try and, but there's a whole thing of like, I don't really want to cook and eat so much anymore. And so, but when I do cook, I try and make sure that I cook in my cast iron. And I don't know how else you can really get the iron. It's got to be absorbed into the food. And so to get the iron into the food so that it gets into you so that you can absorb it. But I'm sure that there's other things, other ways, but I don't know. I mean, it's still, yesterday when I combed my hair, this right here too, this is going to just rip hair out right there. These rings are kind of driving me fucking insane. But I feel like that they are helping my fingers not hurt. So it's like, fuck. It's like one thing and just like one thing against another all the time. You just gotta weigh it out, weigh it out. I saw this video of this girl. She's like, I'm 20 years old and I just found out I'm pregnant. What do I do? And and so many people are on the internet asking people, what should I do? What should I do about everything? And to me, I mean, that happened to me, and I have a strong belief in that when something happens to you, it's for a reason, for a purpose. And if you go against that, then you have lessons. But, I can't say you're not going to have lessons having the kids either. Like, everything's lessons. Everything is about choices and consequences. You make a choice and you have a consequence. But the thing is that every single choice you make it's like predestined. It's the choice you were always going to make. It's always going to play out the way it plays out. But you go in and like, to me, when I had my kids, it grounded me more. it gave me more of a purpose to keep myself alive, to take better care of myself. So it was good, but then it was still hard. It's not like, oh, well, you choose that and you don't have any problems. No, it's hard as shit. Hard as shit to raise kids. It's hard as shit to be a single mom. I saw a mom the other day. She was having a fucking meltdown. She was screaming and crying. I mean, she's literally screaming her head off and crying and having a meltdown. And she's just so fucking frustrated. And she, it's just worn out being a single mom. And that was one thing, when I was a single mom when I was young and I had 2 kids. And I thought, oh, no fucking way do I ever want to do that again. And so then when I got married the second time, I was like, man, she just kept staying and staying. It was like, oh my God, I can't go back and do it again. I can't be a single mom again. It's so fucked. And now I'll have more kids. It will be so fucked. And it's so fucking hard. And so I could really, and my first husband, he was constantly taking me to court. Yeah, I mean, it was fuckery, nonstop motherfucking fuckery. And, which it sounded like this girl was going through the same kind of bullshit. And she was totally frustrated and totally just burnt the fuck out. And she was telling people, don't go do it. Don't go having kids with these guys. It's, all she wanted to do is be a mom. And she goes and then they just lie to you. And then they discard you. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about their kids. And they're trying to take them away from you to hurt you more. It's like, it's just fuckery all the fucking time. And so, people are just reaching this the point of no return. They're just everybody's just at this, the falling apart, everything, and I agree. Being a single mom is so fucking hard. And well, I commented, and then my comment was gone, and I commented again, was gone. Like TikTok is not letting me comment. It's not putting my videos. So it's shenanigans. It's the same fucking shit on here too. The same fucking shit. It's just nonstop fucking bullshit. Like, and I would say it surely has got to be the change before the storm before the change or something, because I know that he put that stuff through for censorship. I saw him signing the executive orders, and right now we are in Washington State, because Pam, the blonde, she has sent a letter to Ferguson, our dickhead governor. We had Inslee, which he was a big old POS. Now we have Ferguson, which he's just, he's a puppet too. They're all a bunch of fucking puppets. And so, I mean, it'll be shocking. Maybe it's going to be a big turnaround and it's going to be like he's a puppet for the other side. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But they told him he has till Tuesday to, because him making this a sanctuary state is going against the federal restrictions or whatever. So he has till Tuesday. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. These states that are blue keep putting through the craziest, absurd laws and trying to pass all this crazy, absurd shit nonstop. One is, I think this one's in California. It could be Oregon. I don't think it's here though, but I think it was California. But it was, but it could have been Oregon. But I think Colorado too. Is some weird shit. But so this one was that the pimps, so the guys who are out there creating the traffic, so those guys that they won't get in trouble. They get to be under what is it called? Where they're not seen, so they don't get in trouble. They're not seen, as long as the women who they are employing is when they get pregnant, that they take their babies and give them to the state. So that is more crimes against humanity. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So you're gonna make this woman work for you for free, beat her unconscious, force her into slave trade. Then, if anybody knocks her out, you're going to take her child away from her and you're going to give it to the state. And then that keeps you from being in trouble. Okay. I mean, you got the same thing out here where you've got, like, here, I know they've been trying to pass them or putting them through, like, the government has more say over your kid than you do. The school has more say over your kid than you do. Kids are legal adults by the time they're 12. I think some places are trying to make it to when they're 7. It's like, it's just completely wacky. They just keep doing one wacky thing. And my mom will get caught up in it. She'll be like, yeah, I can't believe they're doing that. And it's like, it's just part of the show. It's part of the getting people's attention, getting people to wake up. So people stand up and say, no, you're not doing that. And they keep having horrible things. School just fucking started, and it's already got fucking nonsense going. This was a daycare too. It was a 1-year-old or something, and goes to school, and comes home just cuts on his face, a big black eye. Just a minute, please. Still, come on. I just don't have it in me. I swear, I'm just so worn out. So he's all beat up. And then the school says, well, the kid hit him in the face with a toy. So the parents take him to the hospital when they pick him up. And the hospital says, no way, this is not a kid getting hit with a toy. They call the cops. The cops come in and start doing an investigation. The cops go to the daycare, which is a Christian daycare, go to the daycare, and they go and look at the videotapes of the surveillance of the classrooms, and they find that the teacher beat the crap out of the kid. So she's arrested. She was like being held on $1 million or something. Somebody's already bonded her out or something. So she's out. And then the commercial, the new back to school commercial. Oh my God. It's a motherfucking horror movie. Like, all they want to do is traumatize kids. The whole motherfucking thing is like one of these people is in the school and, oh, luckily they have this backpack so they can fit everything in. Luckily they have this new phone so that they can text their parents. Luckily they have this new law. So, I mean, it's insane. I just can't even believe this world. Like, and then people are still, loading up their kids, sending them to school. There was one woman she was fucking having a meltdown. She was so fucking pissed. She was threatening the teachers, threatening the principals. She's going to start beating everybody up. If she goes to pick up, it's the second day of school or something. She's got a second grader. And she goes to pick him up, and she's waiting in the line. She gets up there. They start calling her kid. Her kid's not coming. Her kid's not coming. She gets out of the car. Like, where's my kid? And they're like, well, I don't know. And when the teacher says, well, didn't you say he was supposed to go to daycare? And she's like, no. And she said, where's my kid? You better find my kid right fucking now. And she starts threatening she's going to beat the teacher up and stuff. The principal comes, she's going to beat them up. They say, oh, no, he went to daycare. So she calls the daycare. Daycare says, no, we don't have him. And so she goes right back on the teachers and stuff. So it turns in this big thing. She calls 911. The cops come, like, it's a whole thing. And then the principal calls the daycare. Then the daycare says, oh, no, he's on his way back. He's in the bus. They're bringing him back. So they did have him. And then they were sending him back. And it's like, they can't even keep up with people's kids. They don't even fucking know. They just do whatever. It's like, this is the thing, is we can't put all this expectation onto teachers and stuff. We want the teachers to be the guardians of our kids. I saw a kindergarten teacher who was complaining because all of these parents who have not potty trained their child is in kindergarten. If you're supposed to be able to write your name, you're supposed to be able to tie your shoe, well, you should motherfucking be able to go potty by yourself. Like, and they want their teachers to continue their potty training for them. It's like, what do you say? And you know that people are just sending their kids to school so that they can get to work because they need a babysitter. They need someone to watch their kids. So government is, we've got the government education centers, the little prisons on every corner. Send your kid to us and we'll indoctrinate the fuck out of them. And And, you know, we got CPS on the hotline, so we don't like what you're doing. We'll just take your kids from you. It's like, it's insane. And people just keep on doing it. Like, I mean, in my own family, it's like, oh, well, you know, it's time to get back to school. Everybody's getting their school stuff back. And it's like, but you can't get people to see until they see, you know, and what things are the things that have to happen for them to see. But yeah, depending on the government to babysit our kids so we can get to work. And you know, another thing that's kind of funny is, you know, that I was watching that movie the other day. I said that the lady, she, uh, I have a bunch of things coming to my mind right now. But the lady who, when the husband got the promotion, she had decided, she set her sights on, she wanted this fella. She was stealing this fella from his other wife, and she was going to break up his family. She didn't give a shit. She broke up her family because she didn't like her husband, and she has her 2 kids, and they're perfectly fine going back and forth. So she's like, fuck it, I'm breaking up this family. I'm stealing her husband. And then the woman ends up suing her and stuff, so that whole movie. Well, there is a video now of a woman who is a single woman at work, and she goes over to a married guy at work, and she's trying to feed him pineapple off of a fork, like going up feeding him. And he knocks the fork out of her hand and it goes flying, and then she's like laughing and stuff. It's like, this goes on. These women who just set their sights on somebody else's husband and decide to steal them at work, at the workplace. And then a lot of people do. They get caught up in these. I was caught up in a work affair before when I was number 3, but I wanted out of that marriage from the moment it started. It was the worst thing I ever did. And, well, not the worst thing. I've done a lot of stupid ass shit, but it was bad. And I wanted out, but he wouldn't fucking leave. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't. I couldn't get him to leave. And then, and it just got worse and worse. I'd try and, you know, make the best of it or whatever. It just got worse and worse and worse. And then there was a guy at work, and he was having, you know, issues with his person. And then you start bonding, talking about how horrible you have it. And then, you know, pretty soon you like each other, and pretty soon you're having an affair. And, but that still didn't get him to leave. He still kept staying and staying. And what ended up getting him to leave was he got a job that he decided he was making good money, and he didn't want to share it with me. So he wanted to take off and be single again. I was like, as long as he's living off of me and I'm the one doing all the work. And then anything that he does, he's acting like he's being used. He was one of those guys where those people put in the videos, this is the men from 2025. They don't do shit. And the woman does everything. And, but it's what we allow. Is like, is that where we're going to set our standard? We're going to just accept somebody who's not our equal, somebody who is not meeting us at, but the thing is they're meeting us at our vibration, because you aren't at a vibration where you care about yourself enough. You are setting your standard too low, and this is what you get. There's a woman, I guess, because now I'm seeing more women talking about, like, ladies, we got to set a higher standard. Like, this is getting bad, which it is. It's getting so bad. But that's what it has to do. It has to get so bad to create change. But so this woman, she meets some guy online, then she flies to him. So she's going to go to his place, and she flies whatever it is across the country to go hang out with this guy. And he's in Arizona, and he's a cop, which I'm not a fan. And so for their first date, he decides he's going to take her hiking in 110 degrees. And she starts having symptoms, well, before they even get there. And she's like, I can't do this. I got to go. And he doesn't go with her. He just says, okay, see ya. So she goes and tries to find somebody to help her, goes to some house or something. And it ends up going to the hospital, but she dies from heat stroke or something. And, you know, he doesn't care. He was probably taking her up there to fucking kill her to begin with. It's like, I don't know. I mean, if you trust those people that wear the blue just because they wear blue, it's just the same. Like you can trust this person just because they go to church. You can trust this person just because they have a position of power. That doesn't say anything. You can trust this person just because they're good looking. It doesn't say anything. We got good looking people out there perving on people. You got good looking people out there enabling it, protecting them. You got um, people that wear badges of honor, and they have no integrity whatsoever. They're just puppets of the whole fucking system. They don't care. And there's lots and lots of cops that are all committing crimes. Like, man, there's so many different coming out. These guys are, well, the one, when that lady was trying to learn to ride the rails, and she heard the people in there banging on the the whatever those things are called, the shipping container thing on the train, because they just move it onto the train and they ship it around the state, drop them where they need to go. And as she could hear them in there, there's a cop over here at the railroad place, so she's gonna run over there and tell him. And then the guys that she's with that are helping her, they stopped her. They said, that guy will you right in the face. He's making $150,000 a year off of, allowing this stuff to go on, because there's just kickback after kickback. That's all these people live off of, kickbacks. Well, the systems are broken anyways, so they may as well just profit off of it. That's your lack of integrity. It's your lack of honor. Okay, what do you want me to do? What is it? Why don't you just, now Max took your bed, why don't you just move to the other bed? Why are you crying, Stella? And then I'll ask her, and then she'll just put her head down. But she just wagging her little tail. God, I just want to pinch her, little cute. She's so cute. God, I love her. I wish she would quit whining at me. It's like a whole thing, I swear to God. This whole thing, everything right now is just like, I feel like if we had more of a home, that would be better. If we had a bigger yard, that would be better. I mean, she could be whining and crying just because she misses our old house. She misses her old friends, which her friends are no longer on the planet anyways. Because when she sent me the sword, the neighbor sent me the sword, both the dogs were, she had put them both down, I think a couple weeks apart or something. But they were older. And so the one, he was blind. He was getting so, the last I had seen him, he's blind, demented. But there's a couple of those upstairs too. Or one for sure. But he was like 15. And she wasn't doing detoxing to him. The thing is, like, they are getting overburdened by all these toxins and stuff too. What do you want me to do? What is it, honey? What are you crying? I'm doing something. What do you want me to do? Oh, you're just gonna walk right? Okay, now what are you doing? Okay, go get on the other bed. Get on this bed. I already gave her medicine. She's already eaten. I know she doesn't feel good. And then with the weather, it could be her joints. I mean, my joints are fuckery. They're fucking swollen and hurting, so I'm sure hers are, because she's got arthritis and hip dysplasia, so I'm sure she don't feel good. She's still got smelly vagina problem. Which, when I looked it up again yesterday, I looked up about canine vaginosis, bacterial vaginosis for a dog, and it said antibiotics. So I'm putting the oregano oil in her food every day, because the oregano oil is a better antibiotic, and the ones that they give aren't. They cause more harm inside of us. So I'm just trying to do everything natural, but I mean, she's probably 175 or 180 right now. I had to loosen her harness. And she just keeps eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. And so, I mean, she is, nearly a 200-pound dog, and she's almost 10, which a lot of them only live to be like 6. So she's already doing really good, if you ask me, because it was around when she was 6 is when she had the stroke, and we went to the med bed place. And even though it's not the med beds that we're waiting on, it's the energy enhancement system, which they're everywhere now. There's tons of different med beds around, but the only thing is that they're not the ones that you go in one time. They're ones that you gotta go all the time. And so, to me, that energy enhancement system is great, but you need one, and we need one in our own home. We need our own room, that we have our own energy enhancement system where we can go in and sit and meditate in a high vibration room, and that would give us a lot of healing. And so, but to go and to pay to go to these places and stuff. But I'm sure there's probably some around here. I could probably, I don't know. I don't all have as many, because I went to one that was 24 units, which is the highest amount of units. And I went to one where they would let me bring my dog in, and they let us have it overnight. So we got 12 hours of being in there. And so, I know it probably helped us both. But anyways, I just feel like those kind of vibration systems, we need them in our homes. That's what we need. We need more things for our health, not all these things destroying our health. And man, this video too. This is like, it almost seemed like, is this real? Could this fucking be real? So this woman who was extremely overweight, so she was extremely obese, and she was showing her grocery haul and how much she spent. The food she had in her grocery haul, there was nothing, not one motherfucking thing that was healthy. It was so fucking bad. And you could see her kids in the background, and nobody was as obese as her. They looked, I mean, maybe a little chunky or something, but not like really obese. And but her way of eating was so fucking bad. It was like tons of Dr. Pepper, tons of like cereal, tons of I can't even remember all this stuff. Just junk, 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 junk. Nothing healthy at all. And you just think about all these kids being raised on all this junk. No wonder there's all these kids with cancers and stuff like that. No wonder there's all these kids with thinking disorders and emotional disorders, and because all the disruptors and all that stuff in the food, and they're just being raised on it, just eating and drinking just junk, nothing good for them. Their body's growing, but what is growing it? What's watering the plants, And it's like, you do need to think of yourself as being like a plant. What do you water? And I was thinking about this yesterday too. I was like, what do you water through the day? What are you feeding in through the day of your life, of your day's journey? What are you spending all your time watering? What are you focused on? What are you putting your energy towards? And I was thinking the world is so toxic, and people are just watering the wrong things all day long. They're putting their energy towards things that are not helping them at all. In our garden is just total shit. All the money that we put into it and everything. I think we got 2 cucumbers, 1 tiny tomato. The corn, it was growing, it's just totally stopped. The squash plant, the leaves just keep growing and growing and growing, but there's no fucking squashes. And I don't know if it's the problem with the bees, because there's no fucking bees. I've seen, like, all summer long, I think I've seen 2 bees. It's like, one of them was like retarding out. It was like hitting into things. It's like, because I know that they directed certain poisons on certain things, because they know how to go towards certain proteins and stuff. Like that one video where it was saying about that they had killed off all the men and stuff. They would know how to do that. They would definitely know how to direct a certain thing to wipe out a certain bloodline, that's one thing too, is why I know that they've been in search for certain bloodlines and stuff. I know that's what that 23 thing was all about, was, and testing in school and stuff, like they just don't know how to find them, but they do want to destroy anything that they think is here to destroy them. But I mean, it's like the war's already been won, but it's just like you got to wake up the people so that they see what the war is, that they see that they've been in one, because people don't realize. They just think this is just real life. This is just normal life. It's like, well, I mean, it's what life that we got. It's the life that we were handed. Well, I mean, it's the one we chose to come into to experience. But it's a big reality. You know, I mean, it's ran by these the vampires. So it's just I don't know. It's an unethical, poisonous world that you, if you want to experience the darkness inside of you, this is the place to do it. But that's where things are going to split off from. The people that want to experience the dark will go and experience more dark. People who want to experience the light are going to go towards the light. And that's, you know, that's where I know I'm going. That's why all the dark stuff is so burdensome and so hard. It's so like, but we got to get to the other point in time where it does get better, where things are going to be better. And I don't know if it's, you know, because we are more in our light bodies that we don't have to eat, and we stay healthy and we stay young. Like, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's going to be way better than this. This is this is like such a burdensome place. It's so hard and difficult, and people are so sad and beat down, and then the people that are dark are just so uh, so just no caring. Just don't care. God, the abuse to the animals, like I don't know. It's just, I'm just, this is the kind of mood I've been in all day yesterday. All day yesterday, it just felt like, fuck, man, everything just feels so like a burden. It just feels so hard, like drudgery. It's just like you yearn for the change. You yearn for things to start going in a new direction. But it is, and I'm sure our yearning is probably what pulls it in, us wanting more for ourselves, us wanting a different experience than this one. And and then the people who, you know, enjoy this ride, then that's gonna be, it's like it's like how dark stuff goes and where's your line. And most of us, it's, you know, we've crossed the line. It's like this has gone beyond what we can deal with. But then there's other people, it's like, oh no, we can go darker. No problem. They're good with it. And they just play along. But to me, when the things split, their stuff is going to get a lot darker. Everything to me is like pushing you to the line so that you turn yourself around, you stop going in that direction, you pull yourself free, because you can't be high vibration if you're low vibration, like I keep saying. Like, you know, the people who just feed into the dark, the dark energy, it's like, it's so crazy. It's like a gang of kids, a whole group of kids, like you just get together and you're just sitting around talking, like, oh yeah, well, I'd really like to go KILL somebody. Oh, me too. Oh, me too. Me too. Me too. Me too. Oh yeah, it's always what I want to do. So let's all just make a plan. It's like, yeah, I don't know. When I was growing up, if somebody said something like that, everybody would have looked at them like they were wacky. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Now it's like everybody's just like, yeah, hell yeah. But then you got to realize, like, these kids are being brought up on violence. They don't have any kind of feeling towards it. They don't have feeling towards people. They're caught to be divided against everybody. Everybody's out to get them. Nobody has value, and they are desensitized to violence. Like, they just have witnessed it over and over and over, where they just have no feeling. It's like, are they out looking for feelings? Like, they're gonna go do something like that? Like that one kid, when he did his confession, and he was on the 911 call, and his name's Jake or something, and his sister and his mom, and he was saying, he was telling the 911 caller, like, I really wanted to see what it was like. I have wanted to do it for a really long time to somebody, and but now that I've done it, now I've seen how horrible it is. His sister was begging, and it took like a whole bunch of these, it was like the first one, I think she fell down the stairs. Then I guess she got up and was trying to go save the mom or something. And then there was some more of these. She was crying, she was begging, and he just kept on going. And so then he was telling the 911 caller it was way worse than I thought it would be. It was really hard. I don't even want to be near that thing anymore. I'm very traumatized by he's very traumatized by what he did. And that isn't even like his dad was coming back from out of town. His sister was living across the street. His other sister was coming home from college the next day. It's like, but he was traumatized by what he did. But he had been thinking about it for a long time, and he really wanted to do it. But then it was way worse when he did it. Some of these people, especially like a fucking frenzy, a bunch of people all together, it's like, it's just so creepy. It's so creepy. Kind of reminds you like of the Manson family or something. But they were all like on some kind of weird drugs that the three-letter agency was watching and giving and watching them. And then they didn't know how bad it would get. And so then they had to wash their hands and find a scapegoat. But they do that all the time. Like my mom still keeps talking about this guy in Idaho, how horrible he was, And it's like, there is so many horrible killers out there, so many. Like, how can you just say this guy, he's so bad? It's like, there's so many. And it's, besides the fact that there's weird things. Like, he calls his mom every day and sits and talks to her. He was calling her all during this thing or something. He'd sit and talk to his dad and stuff. Where it's like, I don't know. They find these people that are broken in the mental health community. So these agencies go and find these certain people who are easy to control, this mind to skull communication thing. They do these things. They are always, they just toy with us. We're one giant science experiment, and it's on all different levels. So I still like, there was way too many of these people who go and do these mass ones, and they heard someone talking in their head. They were being told to go do this. They didn't know what they were doing and all that stuff. And I still say, I would not be surprised one bit if it was something about a specific person in there that they needed some parts. They needed their parts. And then, when they go in and investigate, and then they say, well, it's obvious, like, it was murder. And so why would be any need for an autopsy? So who fucking knows who's missing parts? Who knows? And there's so much money to be made on parts. Like, it's that's the trade industry of that is the big money, and it includes not just using them for sex, eating them, is parting them out. It's like a whole thing. And so there's lots of people out there who go and they get an order, and then they go and get the order. And then they also have, kids or adults that have got mental problems, and then they use them as puppets to go out and commit horrible crimes and stuff. But that one was extreme, going in and 4 kids, and then there's 2 left or something, and this college house thing. But then also think about, like, who was that guy, the guy who went in and killed all those nurses and the students. And then there was like another one too that went in. I think Bundy, I think he went into a place before, and I did in more than one person at a time. Fucking, what's his name? The Night Stalker or whatever in California, which he was around when I was living in California. Everywhere I've lived, there's been these crazy serial killers. In California, in Southern California, there was a whole bunch at one time, and in Texas, there was a whole bunch at one time. But that guy, he did go and break into somebody, my aunt, the aunt that died, but his one of her neighbors that she knew, he did go in and get that family. I think it was where he went in and I don't remember, something like if he killed the husband after he made him watch what he did. I don't know. It was a whole weird thing, but it was a husband and wife. And, but, and who knows, you know, how many of the people really become this dark individual, how organic it really is. Like, because that guy, he was around his cousin or something. His cousin or his uncle, who was seemed to be a sociopath. And then, you know, what is his link? You know, is he linked somehow to a military or like, is he an informant? Is he like into drug? Like, you know, is he just a regular guy who just, you know, his was really horrible too. Was because the what's his name, Ramirez, was like a teenager or something. He's at his uncle's house. His wife comes out and, like, I don't know, she didn't have dinner ready or something. She back talked him, something. He just pulled out a thing and just did her in right there, right in front of this kid. And so, and then he would sit and go look up PORN with him, and you know, a lot of the, what is that? It's called something. It has to do with devices of torture and stuff like that. It's a whole fetishy thing. So he would look up that kind of stuff and show him, and I don't know, especially when a kid is in this this certain time period of men in their sexual development. If you develop them at this time around PORN and pain and stuff like that, then that is what turns them on. So they get like excited about it. And, you know, I mean, and what do we have in movies and stuff? They put it out there because that's what they're trying to do, is create that. So, you know, how much of it is like organically that we have those people who become these psychopaths like that, and how much of it is just that it's our society. Our society gives people opportunities to come in and experience these really dark sides of themselves or something. I don't know. It's all kind of a complex thing because, you know, our souls come here to experience these things, and it's, you have a destined life, a life story that you come in to experience, and it has to do with your learning and your lessons and your experience, what you learn from it. And there is a lot of horrible things that people do to each other that teaches them to have compassion. Just like that kid, Jake. You know, he goes and he does that, and then he's like, man, that didn't feel as good as I thought it was going to feel. So, see, you can learn things by all different ways. And so, I don't know, this place is definitely a learning center. But it gives you a lot of opportunity to learn from the dark side. And, but anyways, but the dark is splitting from the light. So, and it is, it seems that so much like it's such a burden to be around so much dark. Like, I've seen another video where she was just going through the list of all of this bad stuff that people are doing, and she's just like, I just wish they would all just divide off from us and go on to their own place. Which I was like, well, that's gonna happen because it really is. It's just, you know, we don't know how soon. And all these people now suddenly talking about this bifurcation like it's about to happen next week. It's it's like, well, it's reminiscent of where back in 2017, 2018, whatever it was, and we all thought that uh, the solar flash was about to go down, and look where we're at now, 2025, and now they're saying, well, maybe 2027, because that to me is the bifurcation. That's to me is the splitting of the two energies going in two different directions. It has something to do with the solar flash, if you ask me. It's the birth of new realities, and that's what it's like. We're preparing, we're working on, we're bridging to, we're developing ourselves, we're getting ourselves ready for where it is we're going. It's like our training is going for where it is we're going. So, people who just keep having darkness and it doesn't affect them, well, and they'll go to the dark if they're real hateful and they don't think people have value, and then they get to go experience more darkness. They don't get to come in and overshadow into the light. The light is for the people who do have an acceptance, do have a higher mind, do have a lot of empathy and compassion for other people. To me, is like your golden ticket is your empathy and your compassion. If you are curious, you're trying to figure out, like, where am I going? Which direction am I going? Because you do have good and bad inside of you, and you can be like, man, am I bad? Am I bad? I don't know. But when you can see what's happening in the world and you have a lot of compassion and empathy, then I would say, you're going towards the world that's going to have empathy and compassion, and you are in training. So flex those muscles, work on that, see everybody as having their own stories, and everybody's trying, and you know what, it's a hard world. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm just spinning circles. So anyways, see, we already looked at my hair. We already looked at my tooth. We'll see what this day brings. And, but you got to enter it. Just, if it just keeps being beat down, just keep trying to see the positive things. Keep trying to see the positive things. Like when things just seem so tedious and stuff, I'm always like, well, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. We don't know when we're going to get there, but it's coming. So focus on the good stuff. Focus on the positive things, and every situation that you are confronted with, think of it in those terms, of like, well, I want to be going towards love and compassion, forgiveness, empathy. Those are the things I want to get out of the situations. What can I look at myself? How can I look at myself and bring those things to the surface rather than my anger and my vindictiveness, my resentment, of those things. Because if you focus on those things, then you're going to go play those out more. So figure out what you're going to focus on. But like I say, is that you can't go wrong if you are trying to learn how to love yourself, trying to learn how to love everybody. It all goes together. So learn to love yourself, learn to love everybody, and learn to have the day you want to have, because it's totally up to you, and that's the future I'm headed towards. So it's not like you have to go just because I'm going, but anyways, it's coming. So, but anyways, we'll talk about it tomorrow, and let's just hope that today gets better. So talk to you later. Bye.